In this video, I'll be walking you through how you can create a stunning children's books with AI using Neo Lemon. Now, I created this amazing children's book about Timothy in the park and his adventure. And you can see all the images, they're very consistent. The characters are always the same, which I've not been able to do with any other AI tool. So you're definitely going to be interested in this video. Now, with this tool, for example, you are able to use the same image and you can see every single time I've changed the background, it's still the same. I've changed the action, it's still the same. I've added a blue top, it's still the same character all throughout. Again, I've changed the perspective, so it's a different angle and it's still the same image. And also I can create an image in a lot of different styles too. So I've got watercolor here, then I've got chibi, then I've also got an action style too, then I've also got like a cartoon character style. So there's so many different styles that you can create your images in. So make sure you watch this full video. So why children's books? Now they are hugely popular on Amazon. We can see here by just typing in children's books into the search bar on Amazon that we've got over 200,000 results for children's books, which does mean that there is a huge amount, but there's also huge potential as well, because if you are able to create a bestseller, as we can see two here, they are running ads, which is something that you can do as well. But this has a BSR of 92. And now if you don't know what a BSR is, it's just a bestsellers rank. So the lower the number is, the better, and the more it's making sales. So out of all the books on Amazon, this book is 92 and it's making over $2,400 a day. And this one has a BSR of 29, which is a book set. It's making over $4,200 a day. And scrolling further down, we've got another bestseller here that's making over $290 per day. And then to the far right hand side, we've got another one, How to Catch a Reindeer, which is usually popular around Christmas time. It's got a BSR of just 8, which is insane, and it's making over $2,200 per day. So the potential of these is huge. If you're able to create something that does encourage creativity, that does develop their emotions, that does help them to learn, then there is massive potential with children's books. But don't just throw any old children's book on Amazon. Make sure you take time, you actually do research, you see what ideas are selling. Make sure that the keyword that you actually target the Amazon search bar, and it will provide you with suggestions, so you actually know what people are searching for. Then you want to see a low amount of search results. You don't want to compete against hundreds of thousands of books. And then you want to take a look through BSRs and just make sure you are seeing low BSRs under 100,000. So then that will indicate that there is huge demand for your book. I've got further videos on this validation process on my channel, so make sure you check them out. But always start with this foundation when creating any type of book. So once you have your idea you want to create your book around and you validated it, the next thing is to start creating the book, and you're going to want the dimensions. Now most children's books, they're usually in this square size, which is usually 8.5 by 8.5. So you can go over to KDP calculator, just type it into Google and then click on this website. So you're just going to need to put in this book information. So we've got binding type paperback, interior type standard color, which is cheaper than premium color. Then paper type is white paper, reading direction left to right, measurements inches, interior trim size 8.5 by 8.5. Now I think for children's books the minimum page count is 24, so you're going to want to go with that. Then just click calculate dimensions and it's going to give you this information. So for the full cover, to create the front cover and back cover, we want to take these dimensions. And then for the interior, you want this front cover dimension here, so 8.5 by 8.5. Now I usually go with bleed, so what you'll want to do is add these dimensions here to both the width and the height, which will give you 8.625. So now you've got all of this information. You'll put that into Canva. Now we want bleed just because we want our images to go all the way to the edges of the. So once we're in Canva, all we need to do is click the plus to create in the corner, and then we can put our dimensions in for the interior here, so 8.625 by 8.625, and then click create design, and it's going to give us the interior page just here, so we can start. And then for the cover, we're going to take these dimensions just here, so 17.304 and 8.75, and then just make sure that we put it into the width and the height, and then click create new design, and then it's going to give us this cover here, so we can create the front cover and back cover, which I'll take you through. So now we've got the interior and cover set up, we can actually go into Neo Lemon. So this is the home page. Along the side you can go into projects, where you'll see all the projects you've created. You've got guide, so it'll actually take you through all the steps to create your perfect consistent characters. Then you've got FAQs, if there's any questions that you need to ask. There's also a help as well if you need it. Now, then you're going to see these quick actions here. So you can watch demo videos as well, which are really helpful. Then you've got Prompt Easy there, which will help you understand how prompting works. And then you've got here Create Turbo, where you can create original characters from text descriptions. You've got Photo to Cartoon, where you can transform your portrait into a cartoon avatar. And then you've also got multi-character as well, where you can create multiple characters in one workflow, which is super interesting. So if you want to start, then you can click on Create New Cartoon. You can see one of the characters I've created here and another one too. So all you need to do is just click on Create a New Cartoon, and then you're going to have this option come up. And then we'll start off with just going to concept new cartoon character and just click on. So once you get into it, then you're going to see on the left hand side a few options. So first we'll start off with my character. Again, you can name your character whatever you want to. There's also a how to guide here, which is helpful, and you've got a prompting guide there as well. I always put it on Turbo V2 as this is the newest and best version. And then you can go into describe the character that you want. Now with a lot of AI tools, they just leave you here to just get on with it and just type in whatever you want. But this has a lot of helpful things that you can come up with. So let's say we wanted to type in an African American boy. We just type that in and we've got the option there. Now, if we're struggling for ideas, all you need to do is click AI Improve, and it's going to enhance your description with AI powered suggestions and details, which I actually think is amazing. It just helps so much if you do struggle to come up with ideas. So we'll just give it a second and then look at the amount of detail that is added. So we've got a joyful African American boy with a bright smile, short curly hair, and warm brown eyes. He wears a vibrant blue t shirt with a playful rocket ship emblem, comfortable khaki shorts, and bright red sneakers. A small, colorful backpack is slung over one shoulder. So we've got our character described quite well there. Then we've also got an action and expression. So it's got full body front view with an excited and friendly expression. And then also we've got a sunny cartoon style park with a green grassy field and a few flurry white clouds in the sky as well as our background. Then aspect ratio, always 1:1. You've got various other aspect ratios here. And then it's got a huge amount of different styles, which I'll cover over in a second. But I really like the Pixar inspired style. So all we need to do is click generate, and then our image should come up. And we've got our image here, which looks absolutely amazing. To think you can create an image like this in the space of a few seconds is absolutely fantastic. The level of detail is amazing. It's followed the prompt exactly, and it's got a really nice background there, and the expression came out perfectly as well. So it's got everything I wanted within the image in just a few seconds, which is amazing. And then you can do so much more within this, which I'll go into in a second. But further to describing the character, again, if you are struggling with that, you can click on Inspire Me. It'll also come up with, even more ideas too, which is really super helpful. And then you can even speak into it to, so this tool is endless, and you can see what it's been able to come up with here. So if you are struggling with ideas, and if you want to reuse the same prompt, all you need to do is just click there, and then we can see the exact same prompt again. And then we can go into actually editing our character. So there's several different ways you can edit your character. First of all, at the top, you've got options to upscale it, which is something you should definitely do if uploading your books to Amazon KDP. You do want the best resolution always when uploading your books. Then you've got the option to just have a transparent background where you just have the image. You've got download here, you've got delete too, and then you've got several options here. So the first thing we're going to do is edit action. So we just click on that, and it actually gives you a lot of different options here. So what I'll go with is the walking forward, arms swinging naturally. And then all I need to do is scroll down and click generate, and then you'll just see in a second how it creates this. So we can see above that the action has now changed, and you can see the character now walking forward, arms swinging naturally. So it's got that motion. And the great thing is that it's the exact same. So there are no differences. There aren't all of a sudden, random things appearing within the image. You can see even the natural shadows as well, and how amazing it is that you can finally do this within a tool. It's taken me so long to find something like this that's absolutely amazing. So we've changed the action, and now let's have a look at, maybe you can change the expression, outfit, background. So let's have a quick mess around of this, and even the perspective too. So let's change the expression. So now maybe let me change this to a sad face and see what it comes up with. And now you can see the character doing a sad face. So you can see the character consistency is still the same. It's just changed the face, which is absolutely amazing. You can change the outfit. So for example, I'm going to put in wearing a suit and click generate. So you can now see our character wearing a suit, which is absolutely amazing. Still very consistent. You can see the shoes haven't changed at all, but now he's just wearing a navy blue suit. And then maybe let's change the background. So let's try now to change the background to sitting at an office desk and click generate. And now you can see the image, how the character is now sitting at an office desk looking like me at 9 to 5. But you can see the transition from this first character, how we've gone from this, and now we've gone all the way to him sitting at a desk. And what's absolutely amazing is this is just in the space of a few seconds. You can see how you can actually start to build out your book and how mind blowing this actually is to finally just have consistency all throughout. And let's say you might feel like, the image is too close. You can also change the perspective of the image too. So we've got a lot of quick examples here. So let's say we'll go with the low angle shot looking up at the character from below and then click generate. And you can see how the perspective of the shot has now changed to a low angle shot looking up at the character from below. And it's still the same consistency too, which is amazing. So you can get so many different shots of your same characters. And this tool really gives just endless possibilities in what you can do. I'll also take you through a few different styles that this tool is able to create. So first of all, we can see a watercolor illustration. Next, we'll take a look at the minimalist vector style, which is super interesting as well. This next one, I think, is an action comic style, which looks super interesting to think that you can create action comic style books as well. Now, this action comic style is super interesting too. It just means that you're able to create even comic books too. And if you'd like to see that video, then let me know in the comment section too. Next, we've got a chibi style as well, which looks really cute and it's quite popular too. Here is just clicking on the reuse prompt. We've got a modern Western cartoon style, which again is super interesting. It's another style. Next, we've got here, so this would be the anime style, which is super cool that you can create books around anime, which is another really popular style. Then we've got a coloring book style too, which coloring books are super popular on Amazon. So to think that we can create coloring books as well. This is probably does have a few gray areas, but again, you can go into a tool like Canva and then just reduce things such as the brightness or the contrast, and it'll get rid of this. And just to ensure that every area can be colored in and there's no grayness in the image. And then finally, we've got back to the Pixar style too. So those are just several different styles that you can create within this tool. Another great use of this tool is actually the multiple characters in one workflow. So let's just click on that. So this is just one of the images that I've created with one of my characters and then another robot too. So I've just got character one is talking to character two at the park. And then I've also put park in the background as optional. I haven't really given it much of a description, but you can see the park that is created in the background. And we've got the two characters talking there as well. I didn't really give it any height difference or anything like that. That's something that it's been able to do on its own. But I'm really pleased with the outcome. Again, both of the characters still very consistent. If you look across, the robot is still wearing its blue shirt. And it's just going to allow you to create children's book with multiple characters as well. So you're not just limited to only one character, you can add more. Then this is another one I also did where they're both talking to each other, but this time it's in a schoolroom. So it stayed with the same consistency too. The robot is a little bit smaller, but still the child is still wearing the same top and shoes. The robot is still the same with the blue shirt. So it always keeps the same consistency, and it's finally exciting just to have a tool that does this. So once you've got all your images and you're happy with what you've got, what you're going to want to do is make sure that you upscale your images. And then once you've all upscaled them, then you want to start downloading them. And then we'll go back into Canva and start putting the book together and the cover. So to start creating your cover, all you need to do is go over to uploads on the left hand side and then add your image. And then just make sure we'll start on the front cover. So what we want to do is you want to see a purple line down the middle, and one side will be for your front cover and the other side will be for your back cover. So you just line up everything and just make sure that the front cover is perfectly aligned. So you've got the front cover there. Now you want to add some text and just to make it pop also. So you can go to the left hand side, you can click text, you can choose a specific heading, and then just choose any fun and playful font that will actually make the book look a little bit more interesting. So I've gone with this Bobby Jones font style, and then I've also added using the effects. I've added an outline to it. It just makes it stand out a little bit more. I've gone with the color orange, as I think it's quite a friendly color. And then for the subtitle, I've just gone "Plays in the Park" in a different color. It just adds a little bit of contrast. And then I've got my author brand at the bottom there as well, which just creates a really simple image. We've got the visual in the background of the park he's going to be playing at, and then the font I think looks really nice too. So it all comes together quite well. Then for the back cover, all we need to do is just copy this and paste it. So we've got our back cover now. Then all we're going to do is just flip it around and place it on the back cover. So we've got that there. And then we just maybe want to add some text above that is just going to describe the book. So I've just put some simple text up above there, just says join Timothy's adventure in the park as an example. Again, you can add more to it. You can even put images maybe of inside the book if that's something you want to do. But that's the front cover. And then once that's done, all you need to do is just click share, download, and then what you want to do is make sure it's for PDF print for Amazon KDP. Just select the specific cover that it is. So you can go on to current page, and then always go with the CMYK best for professional printing and then click download. So that's the cover sorted, and then we can work on the interior pages. So now we're working on the interior of our book. And the first page, I always like it to be a title page. So it just has the title and then a small image and then your brand. And this is something that has been quite simple to create. So I've just taken the font and the subtitle and the author name just from the front cover. I've copied and pasted that in. And then I've got an image of the actual character. And all I've done here in Canva is the background remover. If you don't have access to this and you're not on the paid Canva subscription, then all you can do is just have something simple like this. You just have the text in the middle. Something like that is more than fine for a first page. And then after this, I've got a copyright page. So that's something you don't have to do, but it just looks professional. And then as the first page here, you may want to have an introduction, but I've just gone with some text for the book. If you are struggling to come up with text, yes, there's AI tools. There's also people you can hire to actually write the text for you on websites such as Fiverr, or you can just do it yourself as well if you do have the talent to do it. But I've just got here's the first text. Timothy was fast asleep in his cozy bed. The moon peeked through his window and the stars twinkled softly. In his dream, Timothy was at the park. And then I've got the image that actually aligns with it. So always make sure that you've got the image that does align with the text. And then the same thing as follows. I've got text again here, and the image aligns with the text. So you can see here in the image that he saw the green grass stretching wide. He heard birds singing happy songs. The sun felt warm on his face, and you can see him at the park feeling really, really happy. And that is how we're going to create the rest of the story. So we've got text and then picture, text and then picture. You can choose to have the text on the page, but I just like the look of having the text and the picture on a page. That's the style that I've gone with, and that's how you're going to create the book. And what I explained previously before, as it's bleed, the images can go all the way to the end rather than having it just cut off and maybe a small white space. I just think it looks a lot better when it goes all the way to the edge as we have the bleed. And then as the character was actually dreaming, we can see him opening his eyes in the morning and then him actually going to the park. So he's actually realizing that, yes, he had a dream, but he can also go to the park too. So we've got him happy at the park. So we've got a nice happy ending there. And that's going to be how you're going to create your book within Canva. Again, make sure that it's at least 24 pages. I've just done this as an example. But once you are absolutely happy with everything, make sure that you go through, you spell check everything's right, that all the images are aligned as they should be. Then you're just going to click share, download, make sure that it's PDF print and it includes all the pages. And then if you're going to sell it on Amazon KDP, just click CMYK best for professional printing and click download, and then just click download. Now, if you want to know a little bit more about the uploading process, it is super simple. I do have videos on my channel that can show you how to do it, and I will put those in the comments section. If you have used AI tools, make sure that you do mention that within the uploading process. And if you'd also like me to create other videos using NeoLemon AI comic books, let me know in the comments, as it's a great tool. And I'll also put that in the comment section for you. Thanks for watching.